There's no such thing as casual sex. How can something be casual? How can something be done casually that creates life? That's like a military saying, hey, yeah, we're gonna just test some nukes here in our local areas, just casually. What do you mean casually? It's a nuke. Yeah, we're just gonna just do it casually though. We don't want to hurt anyone. We're just gonna do it casually. Feels good. It's the same logic. Something so catastrophic, something so life creating, but it's done casually. And considering how something as sex cannot be done casually, yet we say it's casual. How do you do it casually? How do you do an action that creates life casually? Bro, we can. That's why we have condoms, we have contraceptives, we have birth control, IUDs. Okay, so what are condoms? Plastic bags you put over your dick. Is that good for you? That plastic, we know how bad plastic is in every regard. You think it's good to put it over your dick? No. And the worst thing in this situation is the birth control. A pill makes the woman body stop its normal function just so you can basically have sex, to remove the period. And now we understand with the recent data that has came out, birth control makes women more attracted to soy boys or soft guys. What a coincidence, right? And typically when we're discussing the terms of casual sex, it's just for pleasure, and we're just chasing that next high. It's like I'm a monkey, I just need to ejaculate. Instead of saying, oh yeah, I want to fuck this girl, you really say, I just want to ejaculate with her. I just want her to help me ejaculate. Because deep down, that's really what it is. It's not for anything deep. If you're on Tinder, you're scrolling, or you're just talking to people just for this sole reason, just for that pleasure, for that ejaculation, we need to look at the inner value of things. We can't let, like Marcus Aurelius said, we must not let the true value of things elude us, such as these designer brands. Oh, this is a Louis Vuitton jacket. In reality, it's just leather with print on it, or this shirt, $10,000 shirt, but it's just cotton with dye. Pay attention to the inner value of things, the inner meaning. Like, what does it exactly mean? What is it? Not what we glorify it to be, we glorify sex to be, but deep down, really, what is it? It's just two people who barely like each other. Wouldn't even use the word barely, just don't like each other. Just chasing pleasure with each other. That's it. Then right afterwards, they hate it. And that goes on to the next topic. How can something that we glorify, we push so much, but you feel shitty afterwards? I can't think of one thing that I love doing right afterwards. I feel shitty about it. And I'm speaking of post-nut clarity. We're all familiar with the term. I think even women, girls have it too. I don't know. Post-nut clarity, which is after you nut, after you orgasm, after you ejaculate, you get this clarity and you think, damn, why did I do that? Or even if you're masturbating, damn, I wish I'd even watched that video. You feel disgusted. But isn't that what you were chasing? Isn't that what you were doing all those DMs for? Isn't that why you're going to the gym and doing all these things, trying to learn, watching the PhD course, learning how to talk to girls to chase this moment? But then right after that moment that you've spent all your time focusing on, you just hate it. But then you go to sleep, you wake up next day, you're doing the same thing again. So it's just a treadmill. So my question to you is, why is something that you love so much makes you feel so shitty afterwards? Doesn't make sense. When we're pursuing this casual sex, we're experiencing this immense amount of pleasure in these very intimate moments. Once you get used to that, you begin to chase it more and more. In order to chase it, it takes two people. So with this second person, how do you get them? You're not going to approach them because you're scared. You're worried about what the guy next to the girl is going to think about you when you approach her. So you use Tinder. And then it gets to a point where you're just swiping, you're just talking to girls just for this pleasurable moment. You don't even like them. And think about what that does to them, because we all understand our girls are much more emotional. So we get to the point of we're talking to these women just because we want to have sex, but we don't even really like them. But then they don't understand this. They think, oh, this guy likes me. This Chad, he's really talking to me. Okay. He wants to hang out. Okay, let's do it. In your mind, I fucking hate this girl. I just want to have sex. So you hang out with her. She's like, oh my God, yes, it was so good. She's cuddling you. You're like, get off me. Please don't touch me. You're like, okay, I'm about to leave. You leave, go home, go to sleep, wake up the next day. She's texting you. You're like, oh, I don't want to talk to her ever again. So think about that. The thing that you've been working for, you've been researching, studying, practicing to get this casual sex, this ejaculation moment. Once you've done it, you've now evolved a second person, another person who was hurt by it just because you wanted it so bad you didn't care about how that would affect this other person. So think about what that does to the world. When we go all here, we chase this pleasure, and we involve another person who we don't even like. They get attached to us, then we leave them cold turkey. How does that affect them and the next person they get with? And then that brings us to the world we are today. That fucks up the sexual marketplace as well, because then we have these higher level guys getting with these lower level girls just because we want the pleasure. And then these girls think, this Chad guy with me, and maybe I get with another Chad. Then that fucks up their head. Then it's a whole cycle. So we like to think, oh, casual sex, we're just wearing a condom. I'm pulling out. She had an IUD. She has a birth control, the pill, whatever. There's no risk, but there is. There's many. So as Lil Wayne once said, the great Lil Wayne once said, you better wear latex because you don't want that late text that I think I'm late text. Basically saying, you better wrap up, you better wear a condom, because if she texts you, she's pregnant, you're fucked. And that's the thing, there's risk. There's significant risk to casual sex, but we tend to act like there isn't. The biggest one here, which I guess no one thinks exists, is pregnancy. Whoever's watching this video, if you're old enough, you understand you've done it without protection. You took that risk. The result of this, you have girls who have fucked up mindsets from guys who don't even like them, who are just using them. Then you have some girls who will eventually become pregnant, because eventually, if you keep doing this, your girl is gonna get pregnant. That's just inevitable. So then you have pregnant women who are pregnant by guys who don't even like them. So how does that affect the world? That's a whole nother thing. We understand how fatherless children are the result of many fucked up things in the world, and whenever you contribute what you do via casual sex, just because casual sex is normal, we push it so much, doesn't mean it's good. Honestly, I think it's the opposite. When something is normalized, it's pushed by the media, it's pushed by everyone, by the music, by the movies, it's typically not good. It's really not. We have to think about it. What's pushed by the media? What do they say is good? You're better off following everything that the media says is good. Doing the opposite of that, you'll be great. So when you begin to have the mindset, you begin to understand things, how the world works, how your body works. You understand that sex is bad, casual sex is bad. You begin to join the self-improvement route, which is why you're here. You understand how once you start talking against the casual route, the instant gratification, pleasurable ejaculation chasing route, that's when you move away from the norms, and that's when people start to question your things, question what you're doing. For example, Aiden Ross, when he shaved his head, when Tate went to jail, prison, whatever, he went on the self-improvement route, talking about semen retention. That's when he was called radical, and he was called many different things. That's when he started to get canceled. So when you move away from the traditional, the most common routes of acting gay with your friends and doing all these things, bringing OF girls on streams and doing all these bad things, these common popular things, and you go to the more self-improvement route, the based route, the best way to go, that's when people start to try to cancel you. That's when you get the controversy, because deep down they understand that the normal route of the typical male, that addicted to porn, addicted to casual sex, loves the typical secular music and all the modern things, that keeps you in your weakest form. So when you go on the opposite end of that, which is where I'm at, which is where you're at if you're on this channel, that's when they understand, oh shit, this man, he has a lot of power. He's not addicted to porn, he's not addicted to lust, he's not addicted to anything but working on his mission. That's when you become scary, but that's also when they try to attack you. So think about that. And one major point here, which I leave for the end, which could have been the only point, casual sex is a sin. In the Bible it says, do you not know that he who unites himself with a prostitute is one with her in body? For it is said that two will become one in the flesh, but whoever is united with the Lord is one with him in spirit. And that is Corinthians 6:17 or 6:16. That means whoever you have sex with, you've become one. You're one with that person. And it makes sense if you're creating a person. Like, if you're creating life with someone, you have to become one, because it combines your DNA with hers. So it makes sense. So these random girls you're just scrolling, you're finding, you're attached to them forever, especially her, because you're going inside of her and leaving your DNA in her. Is it worth it? That pleasurable moment that you regret immediately after you become one, and you're committing a major sin. So is it worth it? In the moment, right beforehand, it's worth it. You get that dopamine, you're focused, you want to do it, it's worth it. But right afterwards, you understand it's not. So next time you think about wanting to do this, you want to go on Tinder, understand that you're leaving a significant detrimental impact on your community and on yourself, your soul. So when you consider those two things, think again, is it worth it?